Good evening.
How you going?
I am good. How are you doing?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
All right, good, good. So, for everyone who's live, feel free to drop a question. Once we see it, we'll be able to address it. But Dexter and I were basically going to have a little chat as it relates to, health and fitness, losing weight. Dexter has helped thousands of clients, thousands of people to lose weight to achieve their fitness goals. So even before we start, I'm actually going to just go over a brief section of his bio. If I go over his entire bio, we're going to be here all night. So Mr. Dexter Simon, he's an IFBB Elite Pro athlete. He's competed both locally, regionally, and internationally. And I know he just came back from a show. He ranked number one in the Masters Pro Men's Physique in the world in 2018, 2019. He ranked number one in the Masters Physique in the Arnold Europe's competition in 2017. And also in 2017, he placed first in Trinidad and Tobago Senior Nationals Men Physique Open class. He has competed in many other shows. He is the co-owner of Double D Fitness Store. He's the owner of Asylum Gym. He's a personal trainer, physique transformation coach. He helps with diet and nutrition. He's also an architect and he's a project manager. He's also a motivational speaker. He's a writer and businessman. But what I would say most importantly, he's a father of two kids. Right. So welcome, Mr. Dexter.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
All right. So one of the things, everyone has a story in terms of how they got started, why they're doing what they do. So for myself, I'm in fitness and you're also in fitness. So what's your story? How did you get started in fitness?
My story was basically that was my pastime. My twin brother and I, we were last in a family of 6. And that was always our filler, our go-to. So from the age of 11, we were always into fitness until now. We're still together. He's co-owner with businesses with me. He's a national coach. We have a youth academy. And that was basically it. That was our go-to stress relief. That was our go-to for fun. That was our go-to for our career. It has always been a part of my life. Yeah?
Yeah. And if so many people will consider it a go-to or a stress relief, but unfortunately they allow the other things to stress them. So they don't do anything, they're inconsistent.
It is a magnificent alternative to and means to ends to a lot of stress and stuff. So I always gravitate to that. If I have any problems, I have any challenges or anything like that, I go to my exercise, release the endorphins, and you have clarity in mind to make better, more informed, controlled decisions. Plus, you're on a healthier platform, so you can express yourself better in life and enjoy it better too.
Correct. Correct. So what usually happens is most people, they want to start, they want to do some of the things that we're doing. They want to exercise, they want to transform how the way they look, the way they feel, but they still struggle and they really struggle. They're inconsistent, they're unmotivated, and they can never really get a rhythm going as it relates to physical activity, as it relates to exercise. So, in kind of your view, in terms of working with people, why would you say most people struggle when it comes to their health, their fitness, and just being consistent with exercise?
Well, you have several reasons, and I will start firstly by saying a lot of people have to find a why. You have to have a strong reason why you're doing it, because having a very fickle, easy, soft reason like I just want to look good or I want to be healthy and it is easy to say, but very easy to stop your regime if you don't have a real strong purpose. And that's why I tell my clients, find your why. whether it be connected to your family, whether it be connected to real reasons, pertinent reasons, like wanting to live, to see your grandchildren, and, you know, having a health and not being dependent on anybody in your latter days of your life, you know, not being connected to the hospital bed and doctors. Have a pertinent reason. Firstly, find your why. And then get into a community of like-minded people. Surround yourself with people who think in the same way, who want the same have the same objectives, have the same goals. And then find a coach who can guide you and keep you driven. I don't like the word motivation, because motivation comes and goes. Motivation keeps you on a high and low. You want to be driven, because when you're driven, the days that you don't feel to get up, the days that you're not motivated, you are still going to apply yourself, because you have a drive, because you have a strong why.
Correct. And most people, they really don't have that why, or they really haven't tapped into that why. So, for example, you may have, let's say somebody's going to get married, and she needs the wedding dress she's going to wear is a wedding dress that's passed on. And she tries it on, and it really can't fit her. Yes, she wants to look good for her wedding, but, you know, wanting to fit into that wedding dress, knowing that it's been passed on maybe 3 generations,
Yes.
and she has to get into it. That why, you know, it push her, it'll
Yeah,
cause
that's a
her.
good why. That's a good why. And you just have to find your why. That why might be short-lived, but it depends on
Correct.
goals, you know what I mean, and your aspirations. If you really want the longevity in your health, find a why that could sustain you for a longer time. You know, my why is my kids. I want to be able to have fun with them and play with them. And my son is 14 years old, my daughter is 10, and I could get into any sort of physical activity with them, travel with them, have fun with them. That's my why. I want to stay healthy so that I could enjoy my family and not be connected to a hospital bed or visits to the doctor and wasting money like that. You know what I mean?
Correct. Correct. And being able to do things with them, and you won't be lagging behind. And
Correct.
you
Or
mentioned,
disappointing them. Because of the thousands of clients that I have transformed and have been in connection with, there's a big element of disconnect between parents and children when the parents are unhealthy. And the children want to do things, they want to get involved with going places and doing things, but daddy have a bad knee or a bad back, or mommy overweight and she can't walk for too long, and they shun from doing things with the children and disappoint them. You know, so that disappointment builds in children over the years. You know what I mean? So that's an element that you wanna make sure that you could fulfill the role of a parent in its entirety.
correct.
Yeah.
You also want to pass on that legacy to your children in terms of taking care of their health as well.
That's right. Because your health is your wealth. And when they say your health is your wealth, it's real, because without health, I mean, a lot of people spend their whole life amassing money to have a retirement, and not having that connection to the health in the latter years, when they should be enjoying the retirement. They're taking all the money that they saved and all the hard work to try to stay alive, because they did not pay the piper, as I will call it. They did not pay the piper. They did not make a sacrifice to include healthy habits, regular exercise, a decent diet into the regime for the rest of the years. Now, when you're supposed to be relaxed and enjoying your retirement, you're sick and you're spending all your money trying to stay alive. Just to make sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. And, you know, I know as you're talking about, you know, people trying to climb, if you want to call it, the corporate ladder, but neglecting their health. There are other people on the flip side, they're very successful and they work out. It's part of the regime. If people just adopt that, highly successful people, they take care of their health because, you know, they want to be around, they want to be able to
It comes, and you know what's the parallel with that? Knowledge and education sets you up in a better position to understand what is most valuable and important in your life. So with more knowledge, and I'm not, and let me go back. Not all knowledgeable people are healthy, because my clients are from a vast spectrum. You understand? And they have a lot of very intelligent, knowledgeable in high places who are not healthy. But the mass majority of people who have knowledge will invest in themselves, and they will understand, because they're knowledgeable and they read and they articulate and they invest in their knowledge, they will make better choices. So it does come with a certain amount of knowledge. They disconnect from your health. Yeah?
Correct. Correct. Knowledge and the application of that knowledge. And you mentioned invest in their health. So people invest in vacations, they invest in homes, they invest in cars. But when it comes to their health, they really don't see a need, only because it's not affecting them now, but eventually it's going to catch up to them. And they're going to invest either with medication, or you invest in somebody who knows what they're doing and they're able to help you.
I'll give you a little story. I'll
Mhm.
give you a little story. Last week I was in Barbados competing, and after the competition I stayed back some days, and I went to the beach, and of course I walk in on the beach, and I'd be back and everybody admiring and stuff, and this guy came up to me, and he said, I really have to tell you, you look really great and stuff, but I wish I could look like this, but I too old for this. And I'm looking at the guy, and I'm saying to myself, you're really looking old. You understand? But
Mhm.
it's not too late. So I asked him, I said, what is your age? He said, to turn and tell him, well, you're really not too old for this because I am 53. But he was looking like 68.
Yeah.
He was looking like 68. And that's because he did not invest in himself. So now he at the beach and he dragging, he walking like he hobbling. He can't run into the water. He had to kind of creep into the water. You really mitigating on the enjoyment factor. You understand that they can have in the latter days of your life, because you're biomechanically insufficient right now. So you're starting to go down. Your mobility starting to go down. Your health starting to go down. So it really makes no sense at the end of the day. The sacrifice is required so that we could enjoy the latter days of our life. And people have to understand that you must sacrifice. Exercise is a non-negotiable. Diet is a non-negotiable entity. 8 hours sleep, non-negotiable entity. You understand? Keeping away from high sugars, high starches, high calorie foods, high sodium foods, non-negotiable. If it is, you really want to enjoy your life.
Correct. And anything worth doing in life requires sacrifice. So why not
Right.
sacrifice in your health?
Right.
You sacrifice
Enjoy your life.
school, yeah, work,
Yeah.
career, but your health, they don't. Motivation, right? It's also something people say. It's like motivation, it always lets them down. I'm not motivated. It's like they're looking for motivation to start or do something.
Yeah.
But
Motivation
I
is the
believe
biggest
more.
disappointment in a human being.
Yes, yes,
There's no place for that. You have to be driven. Motivation comes when you're feeling good. So the mornings when you're beaten up, the mornings when you're depressed and you're sour because something went wrong, and you have no motivation, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go and stay in your bed, or you're going to eat the wrong meal. Or so the motivation is not the tagline. Motivation is not the source that we wanna have. We want to be driven. We want to have that goal. We want to have a strong why. We want to have discipline, so that even when we are beaten up and we have adversity, we're going to continue.
correct, correct. Habits, motivation is kind of gets you started, but habits is what keeps you
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
What would you say are some habits, maybe one or two habits that people who you've seen over and over they work out consistently, they eat healthy? What are some habits that they have that the average person could sort of develop or pattern themselves after?
Well, the biggest ill in the world, and more so in the Caribbean, is the time at which people eat at night. And one of the most critical elements of digestion of food at nighttime is eating at an early hour. So you have 3 hours between your last meal and going to bed. So having an early dinner by 7:30, and remember the key point here is having 3 hours, 3 to 3.5 hours between your meal and going to bed. And that will give your food enough time to digest and not go to bed. Because remember, at the night time, we have our metabolism is at its slowest. So we have to give it time to digest, right? And that's the biggest, one of the biggest ills in Trinidad and Tobago. That and sleep. People don't understand that there's a reason and purpose for 7 to 8 hours sleep. Again, it's for your body to shut down your organs, to recalibrate, to reestablish your metabolic rate, which is your self-fat burning system, and also to give yourself time to burn the calories from the food that you consumed for dinner. You understand? You're going to get digestion, but the burning of the calories is, so when you work out during the day, nothing happens. They progress from your workouts, and the energy output from the day comes when your body rests. When your body rests at night, 7 to 8 hours sleep. So the people have seen it historically, and with my transformations, the overweight people who are grossly overweight, 250 pounds over, are the ones who get in 5 to 6 hours sleep. And this is after the 3,700 transformations. I know it is the most important factor that people do not pay attention to. Sleep allows you to have a strong immunity first, protect you from getting sick. 2, it keeps you endorphins flowing, so you have a better moods and a happier state. And 3, it allows your organs to rest, recalibrate itself, so that they can have a good functioning metabolism when you get up in the morning.
Correct.
Those 2 elements, real bad in Trinidad and Tobago, and the world.
Yeah, and the world. You mentioned getting your last meal at least 3 hours before you go to bed.
3.5 hours before you go to bed.
3.5. What do you recommend? What type of foods would you recommend people eating maybe before they go to bed or maybe as their last meal?
That's simple. That's simple. The main thing to do is stay away from carbohydrates. Simple or simple carbs. So simple carbs like bread and pasta and rice and stuff. No, you don't have to do this every day of the week. You know, just to stay away. On the weekends, you could splurge, but the greater part of the week, you need to stay away from that at night time. So complex carbs like vegetables, hard vegetables like broccoli and asparagus, carrots, that is the go-to with a source of protein. Easy to digest and would not stay on your stomach undigested. Your body can't process the carbohydrates fully in the night. And when your body can't do that, your body stores it in all the bad places. Your lower stomach, your love handles, your bra fat, your inner thighs, your under your tricep for women. That is where your body. So the scourge at Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean and the world is people with large tummies. And that is predominantly because people eat simple carbs at night time. At the time when their metabolism is the slowest and they cannot burn the food that they're putting in. And
Correct.
of course, they're eating at 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the night and 10:30, 11 in the bed, or they're eating at that time and going to sleep too late, 1 o'clock in the morning, getting up 7 o'clock, again 6 hours sleep, and you have not been in slumber long enough for your body to use its metabolism to burn the food.
Correct.
Unhealthy
Correct.
platform. And you just keep gaining more weight in the bad areas over the years, and it creeping up on you. And that's where the knowledge comes in, where you go to somebody who understands weight loss and control and transformation to guide you out of that abyss.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you mentioned your body storing fat. And one of the areas most people, when they're trying to lose weight, when it comes to me, and I'm definitely sure when it comes to you, they point at their stomach area. They're like, I need to lose this.
Yeah.
They don't really point. Yes, they want to lose weight in their arms,
Yes.
their legs,
Yes.
but it's usually their stomach area. And they're like, give me exercise for, do I need to do what ab exercises you have
Yes.
that I can do to lose weight in my stomach? But it's not that. So when people come to you and they ask you what exercises can I do to lose weight in my stomach, what do you tell them?
So this shocking news is that you can't out-train about that. So you can do every single core known to man and not lose weight on your stomach. Because your stomach losing fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit to begin with. So the energy in, which is the food that going in, must be less than the energy out, which is the exercise. So if you don't have a good controlled diet and exercise regime, cardiovascular activity, the core that you're doing will not make sense because you're going to get strong abdominal cavity. You're going to be physically strong, but it is going to be covered with the fat because you're
Correct.
not implementing proper low-calorie diet so that when you express yourself with cardiovascular activity, your body burns the fat that is existing and allows the abdominal to be exposed from all the abdominal work that you have been doing.
Correct.
Yeah?
Yes. And they also say I need to do more cardio. Maybe I need to go and run. But as you would know, it's a combination of not just
It
doing
has to be
cardio.
3 elements. It has to be a diet, cardiovascular activity, right? And a proper resistance training program. That's the 3 elements that will get you to it. Because
Correct.
if you just go and run, as we have a running club and youth academy, and our runners are in the gym continuously because running only breaks down muscle tissue. You want to build it back up. And what most people don't know, the runners, when I first started my running club, I was appalled to see how many women who are running a lot of miles, a lot of cardio, and their legs and glutes full of cellulite. Because they're only breaking down muscle tissue. In every cardiovascular workout, you lose 45% of muscle, if not protected by branched-chain amino acids. The consumption of branched-chain amino acids. So all our youths, all our adults now consume these 3 amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, and glucine. Those are the only 3 amino acids that can protect your muscle from muscle degradation in catabolism. That's when your muscle breaking down.
Correct.
So people without knowledge go to the gym and they do copious amounts of cardio. And they're just breaking down their muscle and they're wondering why it is again smaller but are not toned and the cellulite still there because you're continuously mashing up muscle without repairing it. So it has to be a combination of your nutrition, cardiovascular activity, and resistance training, and your diet. All of them must
Correct.
work together.
Correct.
Knowledge is key. Yeah.
Yeah. And you touch on supplements.
Yeah.
There are a wide variety of supplements. You touch on, branched chain amino acids. What are some supplements, the average person could take that would assist them, providing, they get their nutrition down, they get their sleep, their workouts? What are some simple supplements you?
The most important element of a human being with regards to support to keeping your muscle and your tone and losing fat is a protein shake. But the right protein shake, not just any protein shake. It must be consistent in the skew or the breakdown must have certain elements you have to look for. No more than 3 grams of sugar, no more than 3 grams of fat, no more than 50 milligrams of sodium, no more than 100 calories per serving. These are the key elements. So people give these proteins and stuff a bad rap because they're not knowledgeable. So they go into a store And the people selling it not knowledgeable because they're not asking you why it is you want. They're not looking at your body type to see if you're ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph. They're not sure if you're doing resistance training. They know if you want to lose weight, if you want to tone. It's a whole barrage of questions that people have to answer before they go into my transformation. And with that, a response now, you can administer the right protein. So for our runners, they have our high caloric protein with carbohydrates higher, because they want to repair the glycogen levels as they stores. But for my transformation people, they have a lower dispensation of calories and sodium and stuff. And that combination with your macros, which is your chewable food, because for a woman, for a woman weighing a pound, 0.7 grams of protein you're supposed to intake every day for a pound. Just this normal sedimentary, this is not athlete. And this is why we have so many people with big stomachs, because they don't have the right amount of protein to support the metabolism. The more muscle you have, that's a self-fat burning system, the more fat you can burn. And again, lack of knowledge, because people think that a protein shake is not unhealthy. It is the most healthy thing. Once you get the right one, you get that protein isolate that is allergen-free, lactose-free, dairy-free, with the right SKU, and it will support your body's metabolic rate so that you can burn fat naturally. That is one of the most important elements of supplementation that people don't know about. So all my clients, all 3,700 of my clients, they take their protein shakes twice a day, regularly, with their macros. I calculate the amount of calories and the amount of protein that they should amass at the end of the day based on their goal body weight, so that they will always have the correct amount of protein to support muscle building, which is your self-fat burning system. You have no muscle, you have no fat burning system. Simple.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. And there's also cardio, in terms of some people would ask, should I do cardio on a empty stomach, or should I maybe eat something, allow it to digest, and then engage in some form of cardio or even the exercise? Do you believe people should do fasted cardio or fasted workouts?
Yeah. So there's a school of thought with that, with regards to where you are. So a lot of people get misconstrued with it. Scientifically, they have not really made a decision on whether fasted cardio is best, because fasted cardio across the board, you cannot determine if it is best, because it's best for a certain person. For people who are overweight with a lot of fat, it is best for them, because you do not want to put anything in your body as a source of energy that when you exercise in the morning, it use that. So if I want to drop 50 pounds or 20 pounds or 100 pounds, and I'm investing in my cardio in the morning, and I get up in the morning and I eat oats, when I start to utilize my body called for energy source, what is going to use as the energy source? Not the oats, and it's going
Correct.
to be fat in my body, and the 45 minutes or the hour cardio I did will go to waste. So in a person who's overweight or person who wants to lose fat, you have to do it fasted, so that when you exercise, your body is going to use the existing fat as a source of energy and burn it. However,
Correct.
for somebody like me with a very low body fat percentage, I might not lean to do fasted cardio, because it is not necessary for me. And even when I do it, I get hungry for the whole day. You understand? So there's a school of thought, and it must be adjudicated by somebody who understands systems on an individual basis. All my clients, they get their program and their plans on an individual basis, and hence the success. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Cardio, it's really a big thing. People, they're not really.
It's a must.
Yeah.
It's a must. It's a must. No matter what, I do cardio twice a day. It's a must, and it is one of the most underrated things, because people don't have the discipline for it. It requires discipline because it's boring.
Yes.
You understand? It's boring. You understand? But it is one of the driving force. You understand? To keep your
Correct.
metabolism healthy. Yeah.
So for somebody who's overweight and trying to lose a lot of weight, would you recommend slow, steady cardio or
Definitely slow and steady. Slow and steady until they reach up to the point that they could introduce some high intensity workouts. But the high intensity workout should not cross 30% of the total value of cardio for the week. So if you
okay,
have 4 hours of cardio, 30% of that can be high intensity. And you can split that up into 2 workouts or 3 workouts.
okay,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
but definitely as you get lighter and you get fitter, you want to get into it. The difference between steady state cardio and high intensity is steady state cardio will attack the calories. So it will attack calories and it will burn fat. The high intensity cardio will actually tone and strengthen. So it's called sort of like a resistance training session, right? So you'll get nice glutes and nice legs, and then you go back to you doing your long steady state cardio to burn the fat. Again, you have to get rid of the fat so that the beautiful muscle and lines below can show. A lot of people go to the gym and they do heavy weights and eating plenty and they're strong, but physically you can't see it because they're not dieting
correct.
good enough. They're not doing enough cardio. So you're just looking big and round, and you're not looking aesthetically chiseled. You understand? For your muscle to come out, you have to drop the body fat in your system.
Correct.
Yeah?
You hit the nail on the head, just going to the gym and maybe 2 years pass, you still look the same way.
You look the
You're
same way because
stronger.
your dieting changed, and you cannot
Correct.
out-train a bad diet.
Train your diet.
If you train 80 times a day and eating the wrong things, you're not going to look good.
Only people like Michael Phelps and those athletes who train for hours. So I remember reading an article with Michael Phelps, the swimmer, and they were saying how many calories he has to eat because he trains for so many hours that he has to eat the calories. But the average person, we sit on our way to work, we sit at our desk, we
Yeah. You
sit on our
remember
way
I talk
home.
about energy in and energy out? So his energy
Correct.
out is very high. So what he has to do is something called super compensation. So he has to overeat to be able to have the upkeep of his glycogen levels, his glycogen stores, which will enable him to repeat the training every day, that type of training.
Yeah.
You understand? And an endurance athlete, you cannot be on a low caloric diet as an endurance athlete because you will faint.
Yes.
You understand? And again, that's where the knowledge and the intelligence comes in with the trainer to understand the different dispensations and the client needs that you're dealing with. And that's where we have the problems. You know,
Correct.
some people don't know the difference.
No, they don't.
You understand?
Yeah. I was hoping maybe a couple of people would have put some questions in the chat.
But I think they might be listening. They're listening.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are listening. I know.
It's kind of like a shock to it. You understand?
Yeah.
When you're listening to me, it's a lot of shock value because a lot of knowledge coming out. So, yeah, they will listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot. So, let's just say somebody, and you will talk about your programs after. Let's say somebody, they came to you, they're overweight, they've got a tummy, their sleep, everything more or less is bad. How would walk me through maybe just a high level in terms of the transformation or what they would have to do
So
in
from
order to go from A to B?
and again, I want to roll back and say it's 2,700 people have transformed in the last 3.5 years. That's a hell of a lot of people, over 15 countries around the world, right? So I've been through and transformed every connotation of human being. I've done 73 doctors. I've transformed 73 doctors already. You understand? So I know every connotation of human being. I've people, many people who have been on high blood pressure meds for 15, 20, 30 years. I've come off, hear this, I've come off in as little as 3 weeks in my program. And this happens in every single group. People have problems with sleep, people have hypertension, type 2 diabetes, all of these things reversed because you're going to implement new habits that are more in line to optimal health. And it's like a 14-point checklist that I have, right, with the application, because you have to have a holistic approach to it. So a body transformation is not like going to a nutritionist or dietitian. A nutritionist or dietitian have a place. You go to a nutritionist or you get in an accident and they want to get you back to good health. You go to a nutritionist and they give you a balanced meal, some carbs, some fats, some proteins, carbohydrates, and get you back up healthy. When you're transforming your body, it's a different application. So the nutritionists and the dietitians come to me. I've had many on my program to transform them because it's a whole different approach, right? There's about 14 different elements that comprise the holistic approach, and it must be adhered to: your amount of water intake, your vitamin support, your sleep, your meals, the times for eating your meals, you understand, your exercise regime, your cardiovascular activity, your stretching, your massaging, all of these things you learn about, you understand, that encompass a holistic approach towards it. And trust me, it will cure any and every ailment, because largely we are unknowledgeable. I can't tell you how many times people tell me that, Dexter, I eat well. And when I start to break it down for them and they tell me what they eat, and I'm like, oh my God, you don't even understand. And when you come to me, you get a video. I have a video, 2 hours, 45 minutes with the scientific approach. So you learn a lot of things about the different hormones that go imbalance, that cause the hunger and the appetite going out of whack, the ghrelin and the leptin hormone, and you learn about glucagon and insulin spikes, and you understand what has been happening to you and how to change it, right? It's a lot of knowledge. And when you're empowered with that knowledge now, you feel in a state of control, because you now know why I've not been able to be at my best. You now know why I've not been able to have a flat tummy at the age of 60. I have women over 65, 70, flat washboard. You understand? I have women over 60, 70 years who came in not being able to ride on a bike for 5 minutes. And I kid you not when I say this, and this is not no lie, and reach up to doing one single ride of 4 hours within a 12-week period, because of the what we call progressive loading, firstly, right? The connection to the strength training that I do, the biomechanical reconfiguration of your body, learning how to place your feet and how to control load coming up to what we call the kinetic chain of your body. So I restabilize your body. It's like a reset, and it allows you to express yourself on a healthy platform, but also on a physical platform. So no longer that crooky look and problems, they get up in the morning, your knee hurting here, and no longer all of that, because we have to pay attention to that 14-point checklist. One of them most critical one is stretching, that we don't do, that human beings don't do. So that's it. So on my program, it's a whole heap of knowledge that you get that will arm you real strong to not only change, but keep the changes. You understand? Keep the changes in your life. My clients like superheroes. Telling you. Superheroes. I tell you, they do some workouts and stuff with me to support me. Crazy. Yeah?
Correct. So, well, I remember having a conversation with a young lady, and she said, you know what, I want to lose the weight, but I still want to keep my thickness. I still want to keep, you know, a bit of my size. I want my tummy to go down. So she's working out, she's exercising. She wants to keep, you know, we'd call someone who's thick, but she wants to, the only thing she kind of wants to lose is her belly. How would you go about working with someone?
Well, to begin with, let me, the harsh reality is have nothing such as thickness. You're fat. That's fat. That's straight out fat. You understand? And some people, that's what a Trinidad or Caribbean term, a thick or a slim thick. That's fat. You understand? So if you want to have some volume, if you want to have some size, and you don't want to be looking skinny and nashy, you understand, that comes to resistance training. So what I do with my clients who want that is, first I break them down. I shut them down first. make them drop all the body fat, and then build them back up with muscle. So the big, thick, nice leg that they like is going to look more appealing. It is not going to look like a round blob. It is going to have some nice lines, a nice shape and tone. But first, you have to strip all the fat. It's a process. And then build it back up. And you have to have the supporting elements of the protein resistance training, cardiovascular activity, the stretching, the gallon of water, the 8 hours sleep, the vitamin support, the frequency of the food, the meals, weighing your food. It's a lot. But at the beginning, it's a lot. And after that, it becomes second nature. You understand?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So we're wrapping up here.
Yeah.
And you said a lot. I know maybe some people took notes. Some people might want to reach out to you.
Yeah, I have my next group starting. That's group 17 starting in September. That's normally be one of the largest groups because it's coming on to the end of the year. That last group at the end of the year and the first group in the new year. I have that group starting. A lot of people pre-registered for it already. So they could just, everybody know how to contact me. My website is dextersimon.com, and they could just get me through Instagram or WhatsApp me, 620-6388. Everybody know how to get on to me. Everybody know. And
right.
And then I have a special coming for Carnival, which is a 6-week transformation. You know, Trini like short thing, like short.
Yep.
So I designed something for 6 weeks. So coming out of the gun, coming out of 2023, 2nd of January, a 6-week program started. So that one gonna be loaded. You understand?
Got you. So what's one thing you want to leave with everyone? If there's one maybe action step, a tip you want to leave with everyone before we just wrap up here, what would you tell them?
I will say that the investment in yourself, you have to understand that this is a non-negotiable thing. Health, and you have to, what I call pay the piper. There's absolutely no way that you can get the benefits of health, whether it be feeling good or looking good, without the sacrifices. Absolutely no way. So I would say that definitely you have to understand that is a lifestyle, right? And when people say lifestyle, I mean lifestyle. I was on vacation and every morning I get up and work out. That is a lifestyle. Not go on vacation and then you come back 20 pounds over. That's not lifestyle. Lifestyle is upkeep and understanding that if I keep this into my daily value, I will be able to enjoy myself even more. Because when I train, I went on lime and drink and eat and stuff, but without the psychological warfare that's be going on in people's mind, thinking that at the end of the vacation are going to be overweight. And we have this psychological warfare going on in our mind at all Christmas, Easter, limes, all that. You're eating and enjoying this, trying to enjoy yourself, but in the back of your mind, you're worried. My clients don't have that. Because they're knowledgeable and they're empowered and have systems that if they put on weight, 2-3 days time they know how to take it on because I've developed systems for that. So I give you the freedom. So my takeaway, my last words is you have to invest in your freedom. Free yourself from the shackles of all the things that will cause you to be depressed and sour and not enjoy life by investing in your health.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Free yourself from mental slavery.
It's
so
mental
Dexter,
slavery. That's what we can be put ourselves in, is mental slavery. And you can get out of that to be able to enjoy life just by knowledge and some sacrifices. Just pay the piper a couple times a week, do your cardio, you understand? Sometimes a week, you do your resistance training and you hold a diet during the week. On the weekends, I have a maintenance plan that my clients eat what they want on the weekends. But during the week, you have to steer the course. You understand? You have to pay the piper. I appreciate you having me. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed it too. A wealth of knowledge. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. And everyone have a good evening.
Bless up. Anytime, bro.